In 1989, a stubby little egg-shaped aircraft that most pilots openly laughed at set 3 world speed records. It was hitting 345 miles an hour, faster than most factory-built aircraft twice its size. Today, we're finding out how the man who designed the Piper Malibu walked away from one of aviation's biggest companies and built something faster, smaller, and more surprising than anything Piper ever made. Welcome to Phenom Ultimate Ride. Jim Griswold spent his career building other people's airplanes. Cessna, Learjet, Aero Commander, then Piper, where he rose to become Director of Engineering and led the design team behind one of General Aviation's most celebrated aircraft, the Piper Malibu. In 1985, he walked away, not to retire, to build something faster, smaller, and more efficient than anything Piper had ever made. He brought 2 people with him, Ed McDonough, his Malibu co-designer, and his son Doug, fresh off the F-16 program at General Dynamics. Together, the 3 of them raised $2.5 million from 17 private investors, 16 of them from Greensboro alone, and set up shop at Piedmont Triad International Airport. They called the company Questair, and the aircraft they were building, the Venture. Aviation had never seen anything quite like it, and most pilots, when they first laid eyes on it, weren't sure whether to be impressed or confused. The first question everyone asked when they saw the Venture was the same question. Why does it look like that? The answer is deceptively simple. Build the smallest possible airframe around the largest possible 2-seat cabin, and let that rule dictate everything else. Pilots who knew the Piper Malibu immediately noticed something familiar. The Venture's cockpit is 46 inches wide, identical to the Malibu's. One test pilot described it best. Take a Malibu, remove the passenger cabin, and weld the tail directly to the cockpit bulkhead. What you're left with looks almost exactly like the Venture. Every curve on that fuselage was intentional. Questair used pre-formed, compound curved aluminum panels, stretch-formed at the factory before the kit ever shipped, meaning the builder wasn't fabricating complex shapes from scratch. They were assembling precision components, more like a production aircraft than a traditional home-built kit. Doug Griswold's influence from the F-16 program showed up in the structural limits. The Venture was rated to +6G and -3G solo, fighter territory numbers for a 2-seat piston aircraft built in someone's garage. Under that egg-shaped nose sits a Continental IO-550G, a 6-cylinder, air-cooled, fuel-injected engine producing 310 horsepower, purpose-built and matched specifically to the Venture's airframe. Paired with a 2-blade Macaulay constant-speed propeller, the combination is essentially a Piper Malibu engine package, minus the turbocharger. The numbers that come out of that combination are genuinely difficult to believe for a home-built 2-seater. Maximum cruise sits at 240 knots true airspeed at 12,000 feet. Top speed hits 345 miles an hour. Range on standard fuel, 56 gallons, is 1,000 nautical miles, meaning the Venture covers that distance in just over 4 hours. To put that in perspective, a Beechcraft Bonanza, one of the fastest and most respected factory-built piston singles in the world, cruises at around 170 knots. The Venture was indicating 215 knots at reduced power settings during one early evaluation flight. Bonanzas and Cessna 210s, as one test pilot put it, get eaten for lunch. With a maximum takeoff weight of just 2,000 pounds and 300 horsepower on tap, the Venture's power-to-weight ratio approaches that of early World War II fighters. Initial climb rate runs at 2,500 feet per minute, and it does all of this on the price of a family sedan. Climb into the Venture, and the first thing that surprises you is the space. The cabin is 46 inches wide, identical to the Piper Malibu, with memory foam seats, a sliding canopy overhead, and enough headroom for 2 adults plus baggage stowed behind the seats. For an aircraft that looks like a flying egg from the outside, it feels nothing like one inside. The Venture uses a side-mounted stick rather than a conventional center yoke, a deliberate engineering choice that opens up the instrument panel and reduces pilot workload. That same philosophy would later show up in the Cirrus SR-22, and not by coincidence. After Questair wound down, Jim Griswold went on to provide key technical support to Cirrus Aircraft in Duluth, contributing to the SR-22 development program that would go on to become the world's best-selling piston aircraft.
Inside the Venture, Griswold also engineered an artificial feel system into the controls, giving the aircraft the handling weight and response of a much larger airplane. One test pilot compared it directly to flying a BAE Hawk jet trainer. Roll rate exceeds 180 degrees per second, and when you release the stick, the roll stops dead, instantly with no lag. For a home-built kit aircraft, it flew like nothing else in its category. And that was entirely the point. Part of what makes the Venture so fast comes down to two engineering decisions most people overlook. The first is the wing. At 27.5 feet, it's surprisingly long for such a compact aircraft, giving it an aspect ratio of 10.4, the same high-efficiency ratio you'd find on a purpose-built cross-country racer. The wing sections themselves, NACA 23017 at the root, tapering to 2301 at the tip, are the same family used on the Piper Malibus. Griswold knew exactly what worked and carried it straight across. The second decision is the landing gear. The Venture uses a complex hydraulic retractable tricycle system. Main gear retracts in 16 seconds, nose gear in 8. But here's the detail most pilots don't expect. The gear is deliberately high drag by design. Deploy it in flight and it acts as a powerful air brake, a built-in speed brake that lets pilots bleed off speed rapidly on approach without touching the throttle. The gear lives entirely inside the fuselage when retracted, leaving the belly and wings completely clean. In June 1989, it set 3 FAI world speed records for piston aircraft under 1,000 kilograms. The 100-kilometer and 1,000-kilometer closed course records still stand as of 2023. Original kit price was $64,000, including the propeller, less than a family car at the time. In 1991, Questair introduced a sibling, the Spirit. Fixed spatted landing gear, an optional third rear-facing seat for a child passenger, and a lighter 210 horsepower engine. Simpler to build, cheaper to maintain, the same egg-shaped DNA with the complexity dialed back. That same year, Questair filed for bankruptcy. The company changed hands under circumstances the aviation community described as suspicious. The new owner and chief engineer were both killed in an accident involving an experimental engine installation gone wrong. The company drifted, Illinois, then San Diego, before going dormant. In 2015, Dan Myers and Jim Cook relocated everything to Mississippi and revived production. 60 aircraft built across 4 decades, world records that still stand. The Questair Venture was never supposed to be famous. It was supposed to be fast, and on that single measure, it delivered everything Jim Griswold promised, and then some. World records that still stand, a cockpit wider than a Malibu, fighter jet handling in a home-built airframe, and a story that refused to end quietly. Most people still laugh the first time they see it. Then they look up the numbers and stop laughing. If you want more stories about the aircraft that changed aviation, subscribe to Phanom Ultimate Ride.